Hello and welcome to the Gfinity Arena here in London, where we're getting ready for the second event of the F1 Esports Series Pro Championship 2021, presented by Aramco. Tonight we're bringing you two races, one from Silverstone and one from Monza, and both circuits always bring drama. Now, this is normally the moment I'd introduce Natalie Pinkham down at the desk, and I'd be saying, hello Natalie, can't wait to chat to you in a second, but she's not there, as you can see. So I'd be a little bit lonely, no way I can do the show on my own, so hopefully I've got just the replacement. Over here is the world's fastest gamer, James Baldwin, who competed last year in the 2020 Pro Championship. I'm just going to ask you now, sorry to bother you, James, is there any chance you could be my guest on the desk this evening?
I'll tell you what, I'll finish this lap.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sounds good, sounds fun.
That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Right, while he finishes the lap, let's bring you up to speed. After event one, there is one driver who every other driver is already trying to beat.
You are watching one of the great drives of F1 Esports completed from 14th on the grid. Jana Watmer is the brilliant winner in China.
Probably the best race I've ever seen. I am stunned.
He's retaken the lead. Longay gets it back. Lucas Blakely takes the opening win of the year. Late on the brakes, too late on the brakes. That's Danny Moreno in the lead of the race.
But let's keep an eye on David Tunitsa.
Freddie Rasmussen is back on the podium for the second race in a row. Jana Watmer sees the checkered flag first and wins in Austria. Jana Watmer says, catch me if you can.
So let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship then. You have the former champion from last year, Jana Watmer, sitting pretty at the top with 63 points. And then Lucas Blakely, you wouldn't have seen him in the top 10 last year. He's already beaten last year's points in one event. Barry Boromond, the new driver from McLaren, in third. And then that familiar face, the most successful driver, most points, Freddie Rasmussen, in fourth. And then David Tunitsa all the way down in 10th. That is your former champion from 2 seasons ago. Right, Team Championship. Well, it's all down to that $750,000 prize pool. Mercedes are at the top. Aston Martin in second. That is unheard of compared to last year. And then Red Bull, the 2-time reigning champs, are in third. So there you have it. That is the Team Championship. That is the Drivers' Championship. I'm on the desk. I've got my desk guest. It is, of course, James Baldwin. So glad to have you down here. Thanks for setting that hot lap. We now get into the show, the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about Red Bull's struggles. Is that a surprise to you, James Baldwin, or is it not?
Yes and no, for a variety of reasons.
OK, good. Straight away.
I thought you said short answers, but...
that's what I said off, because you are the world's fastest driver, the world's fastest answers. I love it, James. But yeah, it's not a surprise to you. They start slow, don't they?
They do, and it's OK, because last year they clawed it back anyway to win. But I think it hurts Freddie, for example, in the Drivers' Championship more. But, you know, you can't be having a round like that and expect them to win the championship. I think they have a chance, but it's going to be tough. OK, it's going to be tough for them, but they've got 2 races tonight to get back on track. Mercedes, top of the pile, that's to be expected. You've signed a reigning champ and a very, very good driver and a former teammate of yours, Danny Moreno. That isn't a surprise for them to be at the top so far. It's not. I thought after, say, China Quali, where Jarno made the mistake, and how he left that event in the lead of the series, I have no idea. But, I mean, he's a bit of a genius. Moreno in the race, his race pace is unbelievable, as I found out last year. But in quali, there is a bit of a weakness there. I think together, they're good friends. I think they'll bring the best out of each other. OK, bring the best out of each other. I love that. Now, we've seen that there, Jana Watmer and Mercedes are top of the standings after event 1. Matt Gallagher visited the factory to see how the team are building their title challenge.
What's it like joining the Mercedes-AMG Petronas esports team?
It's very fun. Of course, the pressure is high because they expect you to win. But yeah, they also give me the resources to win. That's a big change, I feel like, to last year. There's a lot more help coming from the F1 team. That, I think, helps me a lot.
Brendan leaving at the end of last year, he leaves quite a gap behind because he's a double world champion. So we, of course, had to make a move and go for the champion like Jarno. It was absolutely the right call so far. With Danny as well, getting him was very important as well. He was very impressive last year in his first year.
Here comes Danny Moreno. It's absolutely incredible stuff.
Moving to this such great team, I think it has made me improve a lot in many ways. Last year obviously was my first year, so I was alone more or less in my house. I didn't have anyone around me, and I think having a lot of people now surrounding me the entire team, Jarno, Bono, has helped me a lot in communicating especially.
Of course, we're all very competitive and we want to be the quickest in the team, we want to beat each other, but outside of that, we can also still have fun. I think from all of us, we just want to learn from each other and we just try and compare each other quite a lot and try and pick up things as a driver.
The environment has been great. I already knew Jarno a couple of years, so maybe 3 years ago, and we were in the same team. We've almost grew together during the F1 games. And Bono, I met him this year, and he's such a great person, and I just feel it's the perfect team to grow and improve myself.
Around the final corner we come with Danny Moreno. It's a Jarno, Danny, Merc 1-2.
Bono is very, very experienced in sim racing. I don't know exactly how long he has been sim racing for, but for a very, very long time. And Danny was the best rookie last year, so it's two completely different perspectives on sim racing. And that can help a lot, I think, in creating setups or thinking how strategies might work out. It helps all of us in the team to perform better.
The goal for us is, of course, to win. It's always to win the title. We'll do whatever it takes, and I'll try to help as much as I can as well with strategy and building setups and stuff like that, and always try and be on pace in case anybody gets ill and I have to be the reserve driver, you know. So I always have to be on top of it, and just as a team we have to work really hard because this competition is insane. It's probably the most difficult competition out there, and in order to win it, you have to be on your A game all the time.
That's what we are aiming for this year, the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship.
Oh, that is brilliant. Thank you very much, Matt Gallagher, for going down to the factory. You can see the full episode and interview on tomorrow's show. What a tease that was, James. However, loving the merch. We both discussed that at Mercedes. Yeah. Danny Moreno, you told me his nickname, Chorizo, which I absolutely love.
Chorizo.
The Chorizo. Very fast driver. However, someone like Jana Watmer, we saw it in China, he's just got such a strategy. It's like a step up from everyone else, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's done engineering, I'm pretty sure, before F1 Esports, so he's pretty clued up. He's a switched-on guy, and that's coming into play in F1 Esports, and that's partly why he's leading the championship as we speak. Yeah,
P14 we're watching now, where he got up right into the points, and we're seeing this overtaken against Fabrizio Denoso, who's battling out and who's having a very good season so far as well, compared to last year. They're going to be very difficult to beat. I want to talk about your team. You're not driving this year. We haven't got time, I'm being told by my producers, to go into the ins and outs of why you're not driving this year, James, but hopefully be back next year. McLaren are another team. They've changed the whole lineup, the whole roster, and it seems to be going very well for them. Barry Borman up in the points. That's a surprise, or was that to be expected?
It's not a surprise. I think anyone that's played the F1 game recently, he's been one of the quickest on the game for at least 2-3 years. So why he's not been in esports, I don't know. Now he is, and now he's really showing what he's made of. Josh Idawu is a real surprise. I really underestimated him this year. He's going to be strong. Danny Beresnay is almost a third driver, which is just unheard of.
Yeah, for a guy that's got so many points in the F1 Esports Series Pro Championship. And with that, obviously, Barry Borman came from Mercedes. So will they be kicking themselves to not hold on to him? However, I want to talk about Aston Martin. I mentioned it in the Team Championship. They were at the bottom. They really just didn't deliver last year. And now they seem to have settled on a team. They haven't made any changes, and it seems to be paying off that they didn't make quick decisions to get rid of drivers and get someone in who can deliver for them.
Yeah,
what do you make of it?
It's a risky strategy, isn't it? Because they didn't have a good year. Surely you would change it, but they haven't. And I don't know what they've found, whether it's set up or they've just all gone through a mental barrier, especially Lucas, and they've all just got better. They've got good.
Yeah.
And it's showing, but I didn't expect it. I don't think anyone did. So.
Yeah, he got his maiden win, Lucas Blakely. We know how passionate of a driver, very emotional, and I mean that with respect, because he puts his heart and soul into it.
He does, yeah.
And we saw what it means to him to win. Can he hold on? I mean, from your expertise, can he hold on? Can he stay up there with the likes of Jana Watmer?
I think he can. I've seen him perform in other games. He's got it, and he's clearly cracked it on F1. I can't see why he won't sustain this for the whole season, but you never know.
Okay, the whole of Scotland will be rejoicing, excited to hear that about Lucas Blakely. Now, it is time for our first race this evening, and with the team being based at Silverstone, Lucas Blakely and Aston Martin will certainly be hoping for another good result at the home of British Formula One. Here we are then, Silverstone. Let's get to it. Qualifying, James, a few surprises came out. Watmer, after we've just bigged him up, is out in Q2. Commentator's curse right there. What did you make of this?
It's tough. I mean, he was only like a tenth off getting into Q3, so he's not miles off. Just on the wrong side of that margin, I suppose. He's clearly angry with himself. He can come back. I don't think he'll get good points, but he'll get maybe a point or two, but not good.
Okay, a tenth. There is nothing in it. When we went to Q3, that's what we're talking about. People watching this for the first time need to know how close it is between the drivers. Rasmussen went the quickest, and we know what he can do, and we know that he can deliver. Rasmussen, a guy that hasn't performed so far, but showing what he's capable of in Q3.
I tipped him for the title at the start of the year. He always has a very weak event one. I don't know what it is, and it costs him dearly when he gets to the end of the championship, but you know, he's going to win races this event, next event, I'm sure in the final one as well, but that slow start is really hurting, to be honest.
And Lucas Blakely, we're seeing the pace from him as well. We're watching Longuet at the moment on board. There is Freddie, but they were unable to go quicker. Just to put it in context for everybody watching, how difficult is it in Q3 to get out that extra tenth? How much do you have to go through? How much stress is involved?
I reckon it's the most stressful thing you can do as a human being, you know, even more so in the real car. Yeah, it's just, you have to go above and beyond what you think you're capable of. A bit of luck's involved as well, but it's very stressful, very stressful.
Because you can set those incredible time when you're not under the pressure. But looking at that grid, James, I know you're eager to chat more about it, but looking at the grid lineup confirmation, it's not a surprise. We're seeing some very familiar faces there. Freddie Rasmussen he's got pole position. Nicolas Longuet in second. Lucas Blakely down in third, trying to get as many points to prove the doubters wrong. And Barry Broman in fourth, doing very well. And a surprise there for AlphaTauri, who didn't score any points in event one. Joni Tormala up in sixth. And Josh there from your McLaren, he has been a real surprise, hasn't he?
He has. If he can sustain it in the race, which he didn't do in China, brilliant. And he's really young, so he's got a lot of potential as well. But we'll see how it goes.
Okay, and then Jana Watmer down in 15th. Hey, listen, we've seen him go from P14 to win a race, so let's see if he can do it again. And Alvaro Carreton down in 20th. Right then, we are just a few moments away from tonight's first race. All the action for Silverstone is coming your way after this short break.
So, and we're gonna go through the Grill the Grid quiz. Drivers in total race.
I would have no clue. Just say a number, man. What's your closest guess?
29.
He won 2 in event 1. He didn't win Zandvoort. He didn't win Austria. He won Canada, so that's 3. And Silverstone, he didn't. So 3 wins. I thought Freddie won Mexico. That's why. Okay, well.
Oh, Spa, Abu Dhabi, and Canada. Let's go.
Zerner! Sven, my boy! Sven, yeah.
Singapore, because it wasn't there anymore. USA, China, hope, and Silverstone.
Patrick Holtzman. Yes! Yeah! I know.
2018.
Oh my god. Hanoi, Suzuka, and Canada?
Oh my god.
What tiebreaker?
Bahrain.
Monza and...
Austria?
6! Bro, that's half. You have a 50-50 chance. Canada. Suzuka. Yes! Oh yeah, he said 3. I was thinking it was 6. Oh my god.
It is Great Britain.
And the British Grand Prix is underway. Alexander Albon has sent Magnussen off into the gravel. It's the race leader. It's Lewis Hamilton. Can we win this? Cheeky helmet.
It's Lewis Hamilton who takes the race. You've done it, you've done it.
Welcome back to the F1 Esports Series Pro Championship 2021, presented by Aramco. It's time to head to Silverstone, and it's time to head up to the commentators area to say hello to the guys.
Thank you very much, Tom. And you're probably wondering, if you are a veteran of F1 Esports, where is Alex Jakes? Well, he is off on other business, and instead it's myself and Nick Hamilton in the commentary box. Nick, the British Grand Prix Silverstone, first race of Event 2. How you feeling?
Yeah, it's the perfect place, isn't it? The home of British motorsport. I've been there multiple times myself. Driven there a couple of times myself as well. I think it's going to be a fantastic race.
Even got a straight named after you, haven't you? So
after me, exactly after
Let's take a look at the track map and see what the drivers have in store for them. It is 18 turns, 3.6 miles ahead of the drivers, 2 DRS zones. And it should be a pretty fast and ferocious event that we have here today, because the 3 races that we have should be amazing to watch. And Silverstone, well, it should provide some great overtaking into turn 15, which is Stowe, and then also down the Wellington Straight as well. Here we go then. The 5 lights are coming on now, and once they go out, we'll be underway. The British Grand Prix is underway, and here we go then. Freddie Rasmussen leading from the front, and it seems as though he is leading into turn 1. He is indeed. Barry Burman up to P3, fighting Lucas Blakely, but it is Freddie leading in that amazing looking Red Bull, with Nicholas Longate following him through into turn 3. Who else is making moves? Danny Moreno up to P5. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. Who is falling down the field? Daniele Haddad down to P13. Jana Watmer already up to 12th position, Nick, and it's a great start from the championship leader.
Yeah, Freddie Rasmussen getting the launch that he so badly wanted. Nicholas Longate right there, right behind him. So any mistake from Rasmussen and Longate is going to be through. But Barry Burman, a great start from him, up to P3.
Absolutely. Taking a look at Nicholas Longate at the moment in the Alpine, as we now take a look at Marcel Kiefer in the other great-looking Red Bull. Through Copse Corner we come. He hasn't made any positions up just yet, but Marcel would have made a lot of learnings and taken a lot from Austria, where he made that move that was audacious, to say the least, and cost him a bit of his front wing and cost Red Bull some crucial points. Maybe he'll just take it a little bit more sensibly this time round, as he's now following, and you can see every single car all the way down to 17th is within 1 second. Of course, the DRS not available to be used just yet, as Lucas Blakely rounds Stowe Corner. P4 for Lucas at the moment in the Aston Martin, and they are doing fantastically well this year.
Getting straight into the rhythm for all drivers is going to be difficult. Riding on board with Lucas Blakely, doing a good job, I would say. I think he's going to be a little bit upset from his start, obviously dropping down to P4, but he's in the mix straight away, as you can see. Look at the concentration on his face. We do not blame him.
No, Lucas really smelling an opportunity this year to launch Aston Martin right to the top of the team's championship. I've seen Jana Watmer has actually lost a position down to P13 now. He's been fighting Alessio Di Capua, who's been given another opportunity after being a part of the Challenger Series. We await the DRS to be used, but Freddie Rasmussen quite comfortable out in front at the moment, half a second to Nicholas Longate. As we continue to watch Marcel Kiefer, this is something that we tend to see throughout a lot of the races, Nick, is a kind of quite calm and composed start. Obviously no DRS being used, slipstream available to pretty much everybody bar Freddie Rasmussen. But as the laps continue to wind down, that's when we'll start to see some overtakes.
Yeah, for sure, and as you can see from these guys, they are so clinical in everything they do. So they're pretty much waiting for the guy ahead to make a mistake. And in F1 Esports, it's very rare that that happens. These guys have been practicing so much. Every apex is absolutely perfect. Joni Tormler up in P6 doing a really good job. And David Tanit's actually up 3 places in P10.
They're known as aliens, aren't they? That's the technical term for these drivers that aren't able to get any sort of mistakes in their system. Lucas Blakely following Barry Burman quite closely through turn 1. Probably the closest fight at the front. Is he going to have a little look up the inside? Not this time. But DRS will be activated. And of course, Freddie Rasmussen should, in theory, come under a little bit more pressure from Nicholas Longate. Half a second, the front 2 separated. And if we take a little bit further down the field, Philippe Resneda, Simon Weigang, Fabrizio Denoso and Alvaro Carreton very much out of the loop at the moment. Philippe Resneda is in the pits, so I wonder if they've started on the softs and then put on a set of mediums. We will have to wait and see if that was a slightly different strategy from those drivers or if they were involved in some turn 1 incidents. Lucas Blakely following Barry Burman very closely indeed. And it's so frustrating, isn't it? You just have, you're so close to the driver, and yet Barry is getting a lot of slipstream and DRS from Nicholas Longay ahead. You just have to be perfect through Maggots and Beckett's to maybe get an opportunity down towards Stowe. Lucas again the closest out of this top 5, but not close enough.
You can see now DRS now activated, and the guys basically behind Freddie Rasmussen all have got DRS, so it's all up to Freddie Rasmussen to make sure. Into the pits for Nicholas Longay.
Longay and Burman into the pits already, so yeah. They are going for a very aggressive strategy on the soft tyres. Tyre wear not particularly high around this circuit, and Freddie Rasmussen, crucially, nearly a second ahead of Lucas Blakely after those pit stops. Can he break DRS? That would be pretty good for Freddie. Let's take a look at a replay now of Jana Watmer and how he lost a position on track. And oh, there's a bit of contact with Denoso into Stowe corner. I wonder if the stewards have anything to say about that. And that's how Daniele Haddad and Alessio De Capua, side by side into the last couple of corners, got back through. So Jarno not having the cleanest route through the field, and that's exactly what, you know, it highlights the fact that if you don't get qualifying right, you're stuck in the mix of a lot of drivers who have a lot to prove. Yeah, and I think Denoso actually started P9, so he was really, really strong. And yeah, Otmir hopefully didn't pick up any damage. It's really, really easy to pick up some front wing end plate damage, especially when you're up close and personal. So hopefully for Jarno's sake, he's still got a car that will give him the downforce he needs for the rest of the race. Taking a look at Marcel Kiefer now in the bottom left. Absolutely kitted out with his Red Bull attire and all the cans in the world that he needs to keep his energy up. He's following Joni Tormel, who's having a pretty decent race, is Joni. A difficult first event, and we now have a few more pit stops. I think that is Danny Moreno and Marcel Kiefer into the pits. So we're seeing different elements to the strategy here, Nick. We've got the likes of Longay and Burman going for a quite severe undercut to try and get track position over Freddie Rasmussen. Freddie's not having any of it, and he's saying, you know what, I'm going to stick to my strategy. I know exactly what I want to do. I'm going to keep the mediums on for a little bit longer and enable those soft tyres to go to be a bit faster towards the end of the race.
Yeah, at the moment it looks like Lucas Blakely has the pace advantage on Rasmussen. I've seen him take a good 3/10 on that last lap alone, and I think this point in the race in terms of strategy is going to be absolutely vital for Lucas Blakely and Rasmussen to get it right, to make sure that if that undercut works for Burman and Longay, they have more tyre to come back at them towards the end of the race.
So Longay, crucially, is the leader of the one-stop crew, I'm going to call it, ahead of Danny Moreno and then Barry Burman. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out with the one-lap difference in tyres. It won't be much, but it'll be, small margins are exactly what you need in this F1 Esports series. And here's Jana Watmer running in 7th place at the moment. It looks as though his front wing is absolutely fine. And he is following the Haas of Van Erven, who's up in P6, and that would be a fantastic result. But of course, they have not stopped just yet. I wonder if Jana will go long into this race, try and kind of avoid all the other cars that are potentially costing him time. Freddie Rasmussen, Lucas Blakely, a lot of the drivers, in fact, into the pits now. It's a very slow pit lane, isn't it, Nick?
It is indeed. You're almost just waiting for an absolute age. Gives you, as a driver, to relax a little bit. As we're now looking at Longay going defensive from Danny Moreno. Danny Moreno all the way around the outside into Stowe. What a fantastic move. Can Nicholas Longay come back at him? The answer is no. Danny Moreno, what a fantastic move there as he now climbs up into P10.
What a statement from Moreno. He's not hanging around at all. He wants to lead this train. And Longay passed for now, but he's not exactly out of contention as he continues. And there was a few cars coming out the pits as well. So it's Longay, Blakely, Burman, Kiefer, and then Lee. Tormler now down to technically 12th, although we've still got 4 pit stops to go. And well, it's Freddie Rasmussen still in the lead of this train, just about. So even without the undercut, he went longer, he is still leading this train just about by just under 0.2 of a second. So Freddie will have that tyre advantage as we continue on to this race.
Yeah, so Freddie's got let's say three lap younger tyres in comparison to the guys behind him. so definitely has this advantage. But with Danny Moreno so close, especially with DRS, he may be close enough to mount an attack as we go through Maggots, Beckett's, and on to the Hangar Straight. Let's wait and see, as it's all about getting the traction and exit. Now it's all about the slipstream. Can Danny Moreno mount an attack? We're getting closer. Closer up the inside, Matt.
Oh, he had a little look, didn't he? I saw him activate a bit of his deployable energy as well on his steering wheel, but decided against it. You can see his ERS battery around 60%, so it's not as if he's depleted the lot just trying to get up the field. He's in a great position, is Danny Moreno, after the heartbreak of Austria and having to pit that 1 lap later than his teammate, which cost him so much time in the rain. He is sitting in what is technically P2 when we see all of the pit stops, but as expected, Jana Watmer continuing on the mediums. He is going to go on an absolute rampage at the end of this race, so definitely worth watching as we see Nicholas Longuet and Lucas Blakely fighting for what is technically P3, the last step of the podium after all is said and done with the pit stops. Nicholas Longuet activating a bit of ERS. That's the reason you can see him extending that lead in the Alpine over Lucas Blakely. And with that yellow bar, it means that overtake is not activated for Lucas. As he comes out, you can see there, it turns to disable. So he has just a little bit, just a tiny bit of battery, as he is getting very close indeed now towards Copse Corner. Feints a little move, but Nicholas Longuet is wise to that one. And we continue on, lap 7 of 18.
Lucas Blakely looking very solid. I think he's doing a fantastic job so far in this year's campaign. One of the drivers I would say that has improved the most. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch him as we're now on board with him going down Hangar Straight. Are we getting closer to Longuet in front of us? The answer is no. I would say Longuet's doing a good job with his battery deployment.
Moreno all over the back of Freddie Rasmussen as well, into Stowe, but did not fancy doing the overtake just yet. Jana Watmer still carrying on out in front, but Alessio Di Capua is right with him in P2. Cedric Tomei not too far away either. I wonder if Jano is going to come out right at the back of this pack, and then he is going to have to use all of his soft tyres to try and make some moves. So that'll be very interesting to watch. When he pits is a question that is yet to be answered. I'd love to see an onboard of Freddie Rasmussen to see exactly how much battery power he's using, because he does not get the benefit of DRS. Here is Danny Moreno. He's got a lot of battery that he can use to attack later on in this race. He's happy to just follow Freddie at the moment, Nick.
Yeah, he does indeed. He looks really casual, really calm. You wouldn't believe that he's in an F1 Esports race at the moment. As you look at him, he's really, really refreshed. And yeah, looking like he's using strategy, battery strategy to his advantage. And looks like he's got plenty in store for an attack at the end of the race.
So Moreno's quite comfortable in technically P2, as Blakely's going to try and make Longuet uncomfortable into Maggots and Beckett's. It's pretty much a single file corner through here. But will he try a move? He's got a lot. He activates his battery, and he's going to have a little look, I think, of Nicholas Longuet, who's also deploying his battery, and maybe a little bit faster in a straight line as well is Nicholas, and he can defend quite easily. Moreno doesn't go for the move, but Nicholas does up the inside. Side by side, Danny Moreno just holding on, and now Blakely to the outside. Surely not. That is not going to work for Blakely this time around. And remember, simulation damage. They have to be so careful with their front wing. Otherwise, they could lose a heap load of time if they pick up just the slightest amount of damage. Rasmussen almost seemed as though he was happy to relinquish the lead. Moreno didn't want it, and Longuet said, right, I'll go up the inside then.
Yeah, I didn't think Longuet was expecting Moreno to almost break that early, and yeah, had to pretty much dive bomb into the right-hander at the end of Hangar Straight. And yeah, I think now it's all back to Linus Stern. Blakely thinking twice of it. He could have had an opportunity.
Oh, there's a move in the background there. Marcel Kiefer going up the inside of Burman for P8 at the moment. They're still going to be side by side as we head into Luffield. Who's going to come out on top? Surely there's not going to be much space for Kiefer. Whoa. There isn't. There's all kinds of squirreling going on in the background. Meanwhile, Blakely and Longuet fighting once again, but Blakely just holding back, and then the McLaren in the background. Burman, now Brendan Lee ahead of Marcel Kiefer. So Marcel went from the aggressive to the defensive and lost a position in all of that. And Blakely still waiting to see if he can get through on Longuet. There are fights everywhere, Nick.
Yeah, well, absolutely incredible action here as Brendan Lee really getting his elbows out and doing a great job now up to P9. The person that's lost the most out of that is definitely Marcel Kiefer, as we're still riding with Lucas Blakely, looking like he wants to get past Longay as soon as possible. Literally kissing and touching the rear bumper constantly, or rear wing constantly.
Oh, Longay's made a mistake, I think, as you can see. But surely Blakely's not going to look into turn one. That could spell disaster for the Aston Martin driver, very much in the driver's hunt. And he's going to look to the inside, then to the out. He's going to try and swing it all the way round the outside. Blakely, surely not. He'll have the inside line for the next corner. And that is a brilliant move from Lucas Blakely, who then finally gets through on Nicholas Longay.
Very, very opportunistic move there from Lucas Blakely. Great job from him, using the brakes to his advantage, and now he's on the defensive, making sure that he doesn't make a mistake and let Nicholas Longay back through.
Oh, what a fight for the lead that we have. Freddie Rasmussen cannot stretch his legs because he just does not have the pace advantage over all the cars behind him. Moreno, Blakely, Longay, Burman, Lee, dare I go on, they're all in DRS. Look at the state of that. That is F1 Esports in 2021, and it is a brilliant, brilliant event that we have around Silverstone at the moment. Moreno just biding his time, but he has to keep looking in his mirrors as well, because Blakely looks like he's on a charge.
He does indeed. And one thing I'm really interested in is seeing Jana Watmer. Where's he going to come into this mix?
Well, he's been passed by Alessio Di Capua out in front, but finally Moreno to the inside takes what will be the lead over Freddie Rasmussen into Stowe Corner. He's decided he wants to lead from the front. He's fed up of Freddie Rasmussen maybe not putting in the times that he was hoping. Or just perhaps he knows behind Lucas Blakely, Nicholas Longay all wanting to make moves as well. Either way, the Mercedes heads to the front.
And now we're going to see whether Freddie Rasmussen has any pace in his pocket. The guys behind him initially, when he was effectively leading the race, were fighting and he couldn't get away. So let's see if he's got any pace in his pocket. Now Danny Moreno is leading. It looks to me Blakely is looking like the person that could really, really spoil Rasmussen's day.
Absolutely. Let's take a listen to Watmer.
Freddie wants to let me go. It was lifting. I think Alessio is going to pass me this lap, but I'm fine with that.
Okay, so a lot of conversations going on between teams, because this is quite strategic that they have to work out where they want to be. Danny Moreno wants to lead from the front. Freddie Rasmussen happy to save some energy. We've seen it many times before in the past that Freddie is always thinking about just scoring points without kind of putting his car in any sort of risk. But right now it looks like Danny is really trying to spend some of that energy that he has saved up sitting behind Rasmussen. And here we go then, Capua and Tomé into the pits. Watmer carries on. He's not going to use those soft tyres at all. Freddie Rasmussen closing in. Just look how much he gains with the use of DRS. Danny, his efforts really in vain, it has to be said. It looked like he was pushing very hard through the first couple of sectors, but Freddie, just with the use of DRS, spending some of that ERS. I didn't mean to rhyme that, but I did. And looking very comfortable with Freddie, just waiting to pounce.
So Rasmussen looking like he's soaking up the pressure there from Blakely, who's been all over his case, hasn't he, since the start of this race. Danny Moreno now
you're doing some rhyming as well, Nick. Absolutely love it.
I didn't even realise. Matt, to be fair, as we've got Jana Watmer leading the race, hasn't actually pitted at the moment. The interval is 20.1 seconds. Matt, do you know the pit stop time?
No, you've put me on the spot there, but I think we have got a graphic that will tell you. I think it's around 22, 23 perhaps, so that will put him still very much towards the back of this field, but still he is kind of matching what Danny Moreno is doing, and he's going to be very, very quick at the end of this race. Again, we see another alternate strategy from Jana Watmer that nobody else wants to try. Can he make it work? That's another question that we'll find out in the next 6 laps or so. Brendan Lee, two-time champ, currently running in P7, a decent run from him. In the mix. Can he dispatch a barrier?
The pits, Matt.
Yes, very good point there, Nick. So Jano finally into the pits. Where will he slot out? I imagine around Sebastian Job. That's what I think, as we take a look at Brendan. Doing a little dummy as well. But these drivers are so used to that sort of thing. They just know there's not going to be a dive bomb unless Brent. Look at that. Look how much he just wants. Brendan just wants that little proximity arrow to just move a little bit and put Barry off. But instead, it seems as though Brendan's lost a little bit of time doing that. But great to see him in the mix. His teammate David Tanitsa just outside the points as we now find out the answer to where Jana Watmer will come out. It still says pits. Let's see if he slots into P14 as we now have some team radio.
Okay, I'm going to play the long game. Save tyres now.
So he's playing the long game, saving tyres now. So of course that is something these drivers have to do, is not attack too hard, keep the temperature of the tyres in a good working window, Nick, just like in real life. And if they increase that tyre temperature too much, they'll start sliding, they'll lose performance, and then there'll be a sitting duck.
Indeed, this is just now Brendan Lee trying to make sure that he doesn't have any issues with traction, and he's nice and casual on the throttle with steering inputs as well.
Nick, just wanted to point out, because I've wanted this on board for a while, Freddie Rasmussen, as we saw on his steering wheel there, has saved pretty much his entire battery pack. So he knows exactly what he's doing. He wants to go on the attack to Danny Moreno in the last few laps as Sebastian Job gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That'll be corner cutting. Freddie just has to make sure he doesn't lose that second place to a very fearsome Lucas Blakely behind, who definitely wants to get involved.
It looks like Freddie Rasmussen has all the battery he needs for a last-minute attack. I reckon it's going to be definitely the last 2 laps of the race. There's only a couple of laps left. This is 4 laps left. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Rasmussen plays this out. Does Danny Moreno have the pace out in front to stop it? Or does Lucas Blakely have what it takes to overtake Rasmussen and potentially upset the day?
That tyre graphic we just saw highlighted that Lucas Blakely just a little bit harder on his tyres because he's trying very hard to get past Freddie Rasmussen. But again, I know I keep saying it, but battery is the key thing here in this race, and he has got a full store of it as well. So we're going to see some action in these last few laps. And would it be an F1 Esports Series Pro Championship race if we didn't have a last lap overtake for the lead? I don't think so. This season is just as good as the real life one.
It is indeed. I think sometimes even better, to be fair. As we now ride on board with Danny Moreno, who has actually gapped a slight amount, up to 0.3 of a second, as we go through Maggots and Beckett. So much commitment through this section of the circuit, now down to Hangar Straight. And you can see that Lucas Blakely is closer than he's ever been, I would say. Down here, is he going to be close enough to make a move?
Oh, Freddie's going to look to the inside instead for the lead. So is he going to get past? No, he's not. Danny Moreno holds on just about late on the brakes. And now Lucas Blakely is smelling an opportunity. Does he look to the inside? No, he does not. No positions changed between the front 3, but it looked like Freddie Rasmussen wanted to make the move.
Yeah, so that was really interesting. I thought that Lucas Blakely had the pace to potentially make a move, but yeah, it's actually cost him a bit of time. He's dropped back a couple of tenths at the start of this lap, so now he's got to really get things moving. And unfortunately, Jana Watmer has not made the impact I was expecting down in P14. He actually dropped down to P16 when he came out of the pits. So he's only gained 2 spots, and there's only a couple of laps left.
But he is flying out there at the moment, setting the fastest lap of the race is Jana Watmer. As things stand, Lucas Blakely will take the lead of the Drivers' Championship. So that would be a big achievement for Lucas Blakely. But of course, you'd have to expect Jana might be able to get himself into the points with the use of those fresh, soft tyres. Now taking a look for the lead. Freddie Rasmussen, 0.2 of a second behind Moreno. Blakely right there as well. Longuet may be losing touch just slightly. It looks like it's a fight between the front 3 at the moment, but if they start going side by side, we might have opportunities for Longuet, Burman and Lee, all the way down to 6th. Marcel Kiefer still in 7th, where he started. Are we going to see a move? Freddie not particularly close to Moreno. Blakely might get a bit better of a slipstream, but instead, Freddie Rasmussen does not go for it this time round. He keeps teasing us, Nick.
He does. He's just not close enough to make a last gasp move, because then it could definitely affect him as we head on to the next lap. So it's yeah, trying to think a couple of laps or corners ahead to make sure that you don't affect your overall opportunities. Freddie Rasmussen, 34%, sorry, left front tyre. Got a bit more, or a bit less tyre wear, I would say, than Danny Moreno. Danny Moreno out in front, still doing a good job. Only 2 laps left, Matt.
Absolutely. Will this tyre wear come into the factor of who wins this race? Danny Moreno still holding on out in front at the moment. Lucas Blakely just watching these two. Freddie just can't. Oh, that was very close on the brakes. Freddie had to almost get out of the move on Danny Moreno. He knows exactly where he wants to make the move, and it's not there. Through Luffield we come. Longuet is now closed in, as we see Moreno and Rasmussen not really fighting and not really pushing, and Longuet can just drift up to the back of this with the use of DRS as well. Still, the top 15 are within DRS of each other. The top 15, Nick.
Yeah, what incredible pictures we're seeing here, Matt. The consistency from these drivers is absolutely incredible. Now is Lucas Blakely close enough to mount an attack? Is he? As we wait, we wait. Is he close enough?
Not this time around. Oh, Freddie just constantly just has a little look into Stowe, but nothing doing. Does Lucas try and outbrake him into the... No, once again, he just knows. Maybe there's a little bit of championship element in Lucas Blakely's mind at the moment. He's never been in this position before. He's shown, you know, bits of pace here and there, but he's never been right in the mix for the Drivers' Championship, and also bringing Aston Martin into the Teams' Championship as well. And once again, we're on the penultimate lap of the race, and Danny Moreno still leads out in front. But I feel like this could all change in the next lap and a half.
Yep, if we're going to see any changes, Matt, we're going to see it pretty soon. There's only a lap and a half left. Danny Moreno out front, soaking all of the pressure up from Freddie, Rasmussen and Lucas Blakely. Lucas Blakely looking like the most, I would say, feisty driver of the three that we can see at the moment in our picture. Oh, a little bit of oversteer on exit, but has that affected Blakely? I don't think so, as we head into Copse one final time.
Here we go. So, Lucas still waiting. So frustrating being in P3, because he knows if he fights Rasmussen too hard, he may well lose the chance of the victory. Blakely's only thinking of one thing, and that's P1 at the moment. He's been pretty strong out of here before. Can't quite get close enough to Rasmussen this time. Jana Watmer still in only 12th, may make that 11th on Van Erven. Rasmussen looks to the inside again, but decides no. It's going to be the final lap that Rasmussen makes his move. But is Lucas Blakely wanting to get involved here? Because he knows if he has to get past Rasmussen, if he wants to have any chance on Moreno into the final lap. Lap 18 of 18 is beginning for this British Grand Prix, and it's Danny Moreno leading from Freddie Rasmussen, Lucas Blakely, Nicholas Longuet, Barry Burraman, the top five. Who is going to come out on top? I think it's about to all start here, Nick.
Do not stop and get a cup of tea through this last lap. This is where it's going to happen. Let's see if Danny Moreno can keep hold of the lead. We've literally got about 5-6 people in the same picture on the last lap going into Brooklands for the final time. It looks like Blakely is still there, still not able to make an attack or mount an attack on Rasmussen. Rasmussen doing a great job under pressure, but the man soaking the pressure up. Half a lap left for Danny Moreno.
Here we go then. Otmir has made it into the points, but only one singular one for now. He's just behind David Tanitsa as we head through Copse for the final time. Moreno still leading from Freddie Rasmussen and Lucas Blakely. Surely Rasmussen is going to have a go down towards Stowe Corner. He's just going to have to get a good exit. He's very close to the Mercedes, but as is Lucas Blakely as well. Here comes Freddie Rasmussen. Will he go for the lead here? Moreno goes to the inside now, and then Rasmussen to the outside with the use of DRS, just flies all the way round him. Moreno, no defence offered whatsoever, and Lucas Blakely may well try a dive bomb into the final few corners, decides against it. Freddie Rasmussen has cruised past Danny Moreno on that final lap and will take his first victory of the season in the Red Bull. Freddie Rasmussen wins the British Grand Prix. Lucas Blakely somehow got ahead of Danny Moreno for P2 right at the death.
I missed that, Matt. I absolutely missed that. What an opportunistic moment for Lucas Blakely, but a fantastic strategy in terms of battery for Fredrik Rasmussen, and a great win for him.
Wow, wow, wow. Just take a breath. Freddie Rasmussen knew exactly what he needed to do there. Danny Moreno could not offer any defence. And you can see him there, gutted. Maybe wanted a bit better of an exit out of Maggots and Beckett's, but still, Danny, it's P3 actually, isn't it?
Yeah,
he must be more gutted around losing the position to Lucas Blakely right at the end. There's Freddie Rasmussen, looks the same every single time, doesn't he, really? No emotion offered from Freddie.
Not even happy with that.
But Lucas Blakely, that could be crucial for the driver's standings. Jana Watmer got up to P9 in the end. Wow, what a race for the British Grand Prix.
Well, thank you very much, Matt and Nick. Dynamic duo. Love the commentary from both of them. As you can see in front of you, Freddie Rasmussen, the winner of that race at Silverstone. And I believe I'm being told now there was a timing error. So, in fact, as Matt was alluding to, that Lucas Blakely finished P2. He doesn't. It's Danny Moreno who finishes P2. So, He did look disappointed, didn't he, James? But you know what? At the end of the day, he finishes P2. 18 points for him. David Tenitza down in 10th, getting that 1 point. Loads to talk about. First of all, the DHL fastest lap goes to Sebastian Job. His first season, a rookie season for him, picking up the fastest lap. Now, we did hope to speak to race winner Freddie Rasmussen, but he is already busy getting ready for the next race, which is coming up very shortly. But James, let's look back at those final few laps for Freddie. It was nail-biting there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he knew exactly what he was doing the whole race, really, just charging that battery. He obviously had the confidence in his ability that he was going to get past anyway. Danny clearly didn't save enough battery for the end on that final hanger straight. Gutting. I mean, he finished P2, not P3. But, yeah, still, he would have been a bit gutted because he could have won. You know, he was half a lap away from his first victory.
Is that what we were seeing on his face then? It wasn't, it was just the fact that he reckoned he could have taken Freddie?
Yeah, I mean, when I was teammates last year with him, if he had any setback in any race or a quali or whatever, he didn't think of the positive, he thought of the negative. But I think that's a good mindset to have because you're just striving for that, you know, perfection.
Yeah. It was about lap 19 that Rasmussen was looking for the overtake, the feint, and then it took until lap 20 to finally do it. And he is cool, calm and collected. He's very consistent as Freddie. We mentioned at the start of the show tonight that you said event when he starts slow. Well, he looks like he's back to the best now. After that overtake, he just looks so assured of himself.
He's always going to be there. You know, to be honest, the talk in the sim racing community, you know, he's arguably one of the quickest over one lap. He's got the pace. He's a seasoned pro in this series. It's just that slow start. It's not ideal, but you know, never say never. He's definitely still in the hunt for the title, and that's a really good victory, a really calculated drive.
Yeah, and that is the most wins in the history of the F1 Esports Series. Yes, wow. So congratulations, Jana equalled him. Here we go. So there you go. He is sitting pretty at the top. Although you won't necessarily know it from Freddie. There won't be huge amounts of emotions coming out from him, but I'm sure he will love that. Well, listen, and obviously Blakely getting third, fantastic from him. He did a great job and still in the hunt with the points there he was taking. Yeah.
I mean, it was a good drive from the championship point of view. I mean, that move there is the move of the season as far as I'm concerned. It's a little bit like, was it Leclerc on Gasly in the real-life Silverstone race a couple of years ago? But a good drive, still up there, still showing he's well in the hunt for the title.
Yeah, and any doubters, I mean, the pressure's on him. But hey, listen, I tell you what, we've got the second race just moments away. We'll be heading to Monza. So, here we go, heading to Monza and the 2021 Pro Championship. This is where it gets very exciting. Qualifying happened earlier on today. We have a qualifying show. You can come and join us if you would like to do that. Epic stuff. The Ferraris, so consistent on Monza, on that circuit, and they went out in Q2. That is not to be expected. It hasn't clicked for them yet. David Tenitza or Brendan Lee, they've got 3 championships under their belts in the drivers'.
Yeah, but you know, it's like saying, look at Sebastian Vettel, he's got 4, but he's not winning now. It doesn't matter. It's all about now and the future. And I know David is a little bit distracted because he's doing other games. I'm actually in a title fight with him on a different game at the moment, so he is definitely distracted. Whether Brendan is, I don't know, but you have to put all your eggs in this basket if you want to win. And maybe that's where they're going wrong. OK, well, you heard it first. I love that. That's why we like having James Baldwin here. Q3, it hotted up with Jana Watmer taking pole position. Again, delivering when it matters. You talk about eggs. He delivered a full basket. I don't know what I was going with that word. But the point is, he put all his eggs in one basket, and he takes that. With Marcel Kiefer, we know that the Red Bulls need to deliver to get back up in the team championship. And after Freddie Rasmussen got that win in Silverstone, Marcel Kiefer doing what he needs to do, starting in P2. And there you go. Fabrizio Denoso, third place there, 9,000ths of a second difference. I mean, if you talk about how close it is between these drivers. And there again, Lucas Blakely, he's there or thereabouts. We love to see that. Sebastian Job, love it. He got the DHL fastest lap time at Silverstone, and now he is in
with a chance of picking up some points. Nicholas Longo down in 8th, Danny Moreno in 9th. You said he doesn't like to know, he doesn't focus on the good things, it's the bad things that he's done wrong. Simon Weigand in 10th. Davidson, it's a way down. He exceeded track limits in quali. Daniele Haddad, he's a very fast driver, just a bit unfortunate. A few things here and there for his races. And can Haas or AlphaTauri pick up their first point? I'll tell you what, we'll be racing in Monza when we return, and we can gather our breath again. We'll see you very shortly.
Hello guys, it's Alpine, and we're here with the 5-second challenge where you have to name 3 things under 5 seconds, and well, yeah, that's the challenge. Monopoly, thingy that goes around the world, and I don't know.
I had that one. Rome, Napoli, and
that was so easy. Turin, Milan, Rome, Napoli, Venice.
I did not get that one. That was so easy.
That was the easiest.
Oh my god.
Shoes, bags, hair. Oh, let's go.
That, a cow. I don't know them in English.
Well, a chicken, a horse. Chickens, serpents, spiders.
I don't know. You lost me there.
Spider-Man, Batman, and Aquaman.
Get the easy one. Not quick at this.
Paprika, barbecue, onion, salt and pepper, salt, onion thingy. Oh.
Expect some drama. It's the Italian Grand Prix. They rise to Charles Leclerc.
Your second, no mistakes. I won this win.
He's so close. Oh God, yes! Pierre Gasly wins the Italian Grand Prix.
Oh, here we go then. We are back. Welcome back to the F1 Esports Pro Championship presented by Aramco. We are moments away from our second race of the evening. It is Monza. Before we join Matt and Nick, who are up in the commentary area, let's chat to James. You're going to talk us through the famous Temple of Speed. We're not mucking about. No cap, James, on this one. So what do we need to look out for in Monza?
Well, it's, as seen in the esports industry, the hardest track to hook a quali lap together because it's so easy to invalidate, cut the chicanes. They're very flat, so you can, if you get the turning point wrong, just cut over and get invalidation. You can see here, turn 1, this is 2019, Beresnay going up the inside of Longuet. I think that's Longuet's debut. And brakes are key. That's why Beresnay typically goes strong here. Obviously not now, as we've seen, but it's all about the braking, all about, the thing is as well, there's low downforce on the car, so the cars are trickier to drive compared to other circuits, which does play a factor. And it's all about who can hold their nerve, to be honest.
That phrase that's always said in F1 Esports, send it. But it's so hard to not exceed those track limits. This is a real challenge. And the fact that event 1 was only a couple of weeks ago, they haven't had much time to really get into it, have they? And sort of perfect this race.
True. They would have practiced before event 1, but it's all about who's the most precise, who can control that send it mentality, because you can't just send it, you get an invalidation, but you can control that, and whoever finds that perfect balance will come out.
Okay, here we go then. Let's get there. It's our final race of the night. Let's head up to Matt Gallagher and Nick Hamilton up in the commentary.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. The king of throws, that's what you're known as. Nick, we've got a great race around Monza coming up. We've had Freddie Rasmussen, the resurgence at Silverstone, but we've got Marcel Kiefer P2, Jana Watmer on pole position. What's going to happen?
I think we're set for a banger, Matt. Absolute banger. I can't wait for it. Monza, you know, what a fantastic circuit. And we've got so many amazing drivers on the grid. And yeah, it's great to see Jana Watmer back on pole.
Absolutely, they're on their formation lap. You can see it right here, all putting in some temperature into those cold tyres. We heard from Marcel Kiefer in the qualifying show saying the front right's quite difficult to get some tyre temperature in. So that's something they're going to be working on hard on this formation lap. Jana Watmer, just about the championship leader from Lucas Blakely. And this should be a fascinating race. Who are we looking out for? Nick, of course, there'll be the battle at the front. Is there anyone that's going to be coming through from qualifying?
Well, Barry Beaumont down in P7 there. Also Nicolas Longuet and Danny Moreno, P9. So watch out for those three. I think they're going to be making some moves.
Absolutely. Here we go then, the drivers rounding the final corner. What was once known as Parabolica is now as Curva Alboreto. We've got a soft tyre runner of Barry Beaumont. So P7 for the McLaren, and he's deciding to go on the soft tyres. All the other drivers seem to be going the medium route. So look out for that McLaren going on the attack on the first lap, as we're taking a look now. The last of the drivers getting onto this grid for the Italian Grand Prix. 19 laps await these F1 Esports Series drivers. Let's see. Can Jana Watmer hold on from pole position? He's going to have a hell of a job. And here we go then. The lights are coming on now. When all five go out, we'll be racing in Monza. We're underway. Jana Watmer from pole position gets a great start by the looks of things as we head down towards turn one. Marcel Kiefer still holding to P2. Is he going to look to the inside of the Mercedes? He does look to the inside, but Jana Watmer late on the brakes and gets through the first chicane absolutely fine and dandy. Fabrizio Denoso, P3 still. What a great qualifying from him. Lucas Blakely, P4. Barry Beaumont on the soft tyres, up to P5 already. He's made up a couple of positions. Job's gone down a position. So has Rasmussen as they fight now down towards the second chicane. Single file through here unless you want to be clipping a wing and getting some damage. But Barry Beaumont on the attack, as is Lucas Blakely having a little look on Denoso. But nothing doing just yet, Nick.
Yeah, very clean start from absolutely everybody. Barry Beaumont, the one to watch on those soft tyres. He's now going to make a move down the outside of Lucas Blakely on the way into Ascari. He's going to down the outside. Is he going to be close enough to make it move?
Oh, what a move.
What a great job from Barry Beaumont. And this is where he needs to make his race come alive in the first lap. Great job from Barry Beaumont.
So Lucas Blakely dipped a wheel out of Lesmo 2, and that just cost his run down towards Ascari, and Barry Beaumont all the way round the outside on the soft tyres, making them work an absolute treat. Next target for the McLaren Shadow driver is Fabrizio Denoso. Starting lap 2, Jana Watmer looking reasonably comfortable out in front at the moment. Weaving, you can see, trying to cost Marcel Kiefer just a little bit of slipstream advantage as we head down towards turn number 1, Barry Beaumont. Very late on the brakes with the use of those Red Bull tyres. Of course, he has a pace advantage at the moment, and he will try and utilise that over the next few laps. Lucas Blakely is falling away a little bit from the McLaren, as he is, of course, on those mediums. Sebastian Job quite close behind. Then Freddie Rasmussen in that Red Bull. Nicolas Longuet's not made too many positions up. Danny Moreno's made up none. And here's Barry Beaumont. Full name's Bardia, but he says that it's easier to call him Barry, so that's the way he goes. As we have a yellow flag in sector 2. I wonder if someone has clipped a front wing. There's a position change between Tourmaline and Beresnay, but let's focus on Denoso and Beaumont. It's once again, it's almost deja vu. This time it's Denoso and Beaumont, and he may well clear it with the use of slipstream of Kiefer ahead to go all the way round the outside, and all of a sudden, Barry Beaumont is on a charge.
Yeah, he is using those soft tyres to absolute perfection. It looks like the exit he is getting, the traction he is getting from these soft tyres are absolutely amazing, but he has to really make it stick, because these soft tyres are going to go off really quickly, and then potentially the medium runners will start to get faster. So Barry Beaumont needs to make the most of it whilst he can, and that is exactly what he's doing up to P3.
This is a dream start for the McLaren Shadow driver, going slightly defensive into turn 1, making sure Denoso doesn't fancy anything. He's the only driver bar Cedric Tomei on the soft tyres. So we will see if this is the strategy that is, well, the best way round this 19-lap Italian Grand Prix. Of course, he is going to be a bit of a sitting duck when everybody else goes onto the soft tyres later on, but he has to make the positions up. Ideally, he gets past both Kiefer and Watmer, because there is a solid, I'd say 8-9 tenths pace advantage that he has on those soft tyres compared to the mediums, but the problem he now has is, one, he's up against Watmer and Kiefer, two of the fastest F1 Esports Series drivers here, and two, Kiefer has DRS on Watmer, so it's going to be very difficult indeed. He gets a great run again out of Lesmo too, but this time Marcel is a little bit better than we've seen Denoso and Blakely out of there. And now, let's see, is he going to be patient, or is he just going to send one?
If I was Barry, I would definitely be trying to send it as soon as possible, because he doesn't want to hang around too much. As you said so rightly, Matt, that he will be a sitting duck once everybody else swaps to the soft tyres. Pit radio.
On P4. What a move, mate. Nice job.
There's a move for the lead as we cut across the team radio. Marcel Kiefer takes the lead. Barry Burman is now going to take the lead from the pair of them. From P3 to P1, Barry Burman in the McLaren decides, you know what, I'm going to lead from the front. Give me those soft tyres. And now let's see what he can do.
Wow, Jana Watmer goes from first to third in one straight. Basically got slipstream from two cars, and Barry Burman thought, well, I'm going to slipstream Kiefer as well, and leading Barry Burman from P5 pretty much into the lead now, and he's got to use those soft tyres to his advantage and try and stretch out the gap.
He was celebrating on the team radio, getting up to P4. I wonder how he sounds now when he's up to first position. He now needs to try and extend that gap to Marcel Kiefer, try and break DRS if he can. That will be a gargantuan task, as Lucas Blakely is now on the back of Fabrizio Denoso. Denoso, such a great qualifying performance, but as we saw in China, maybe just lacking that slight race pace, not experience, because he's been here since race one, as Lucas Blakely nearly ends up in the wall with that slide, but manages to catch it pretty well indeed. But Denoso maybe just lacking in a couple of corners and allowing Lucas Blakely some sort of opportunity, but with the use of the battery, with the use of DRS, gets right on the back of Jana Watmer again. I wonder what Jano's thinking. Championship leader, reigning champion, lost the lead, would have wanted to stay second, I imagine. Now P3, has to keep an eye behind to the Alpine and the Aston Martin.
Yeah, I think he's been in positions like this before, so I think he knows exactly how to keep his head and handle everything. We're in the train at the moment, so you've got to just keep calm. Barry Burman extending his gap out in front. 0.5 of a second is the gap, and his tyres will start to drop off as we go further into this first stint. But yeah, Jana Watmer knows exactly what he's doing. He's been here a long time, hasn't he? So I'm sure he's going to be totally fine, but it's not going to be easy for him.
Worth mentioning, there are a few pit stops going on out there. Freddie Rasmussen, 17th, and has whacked on a fresh set of soft tyres. You love that phrase. Yeah. David Tanitza as well on the soft tyres. Yoni Tormela, Cedric Tomei. So they have gone on for a very long stint on the soft tyres, which, you know, if that works, we should see some undercuts coming from this front. I'm going to say front 15, front 16, where you've got them all within DRS, which is crazy, although Daniel Haddad just went over a second as I said that. Jana Watmer, 6/10 back from Marcel Kiefer. I mean, that looks like an enormous distance when you look at F1 Esports, and usually the distance between that 6/10 looks like he's half a lap behind, to be honest, but Barry is pushing very hard indeed. Cannot break the DRS, though. This was something that would be crucial for him, because of course Marcel is gaining that advantage with the use of DRS all the way down this straight, down towards turn 1. It went from 0.7 to 0.3. You can see that on your screen right now with the time intervals. Jano very late on the brakes as well. Oh no, that was Lucas Blakely, sorry, very late on the brakes behind Fabrizio Denoso. And we've got some more people in the pits as well. Romanidis, Job, Lee and Weigang. The undercut is starting to happen.
It is indeed. I think this is going to be really, really interesting, because Barry Burman is now actually not making the inroads into a lead or extending his lead as much as he would need to or like to, because the benefit that he gained out of a fresh set of soft tyres was absolutely huge in the first 2 laps. But as soon as those 2 laps are done, it seemed to drop off quite considerably. So when everybody else comes in for those soft tyres, it's going to be difficult for Barry Burman to hold on to the lead.
Taking a look at Lucas Blakely at the moment, I wonder if he's going to change his game plan ever so slightly from Silverstone, where he was very much in the fight for the victory, settled for P3 in the end. I wonder if that's going to be his game plan throughout, you know, not take any risks, pick up points every single race, or will we see a bit more eagerness from him in some of these races?
This is the most consistent I've seen Lucas Blakely.
Absolutely.
Constantly in the top 5, and you know what, leading the championship into into his first time he's ever been so strong in a championship, let's say. And so I would say you just got to keep consistent and keep getting those points.
Okay, we need to watch out for this now. We've got Kiefer, Blakely, Denoso and Caraton all in the pits now. They're putting on a fresh set of soft tyres, so they will try and get track position on the likes of Buraman, Otmir. Longue is now, well, just over a second because of the pit stops, so he won't get the use of DRS on the Mercedes driver ahead. Here's the battle for the lead once again. Different strategies. Barry on the softs, Jana on the mediums, and you can see it's a weird thing, isn't it? Because usually you see in Formula 1 the soft tyres will be the shortest stint and the mediums will be the longer one, but it seems as though for this track and the tyre degradation not being too high, that the soft tyres may actually be the longest stint in this race. And it seems to be a recurring trend on the lower tyre degradation tracks here on the calendar. Prejneda, currently in P8, gets a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help him at all, but he is 9 seconds back on Danny Berezne and very much out of contention for any points. Let's see, does Jarno dive into the pits here? He's using, of course, 75% of his battery's got left into the final corner we cut. Does he peel into the pits now, or does he decide to go a little bit longer and enjoy? Oh, Barry just dummying the pit stop there, didn't he? That's very interesting. Now that's big. Nicholas Longue has picked up a 3-second time penalty. As Jana Watmer goes to the inside and takes the lead away from Barry Buraman into turn 1. He decides now is the time. The mediums will be quicker than the softs with the durability available to that Mercedes driver. Crucial stuff. It's going to be very interesting to see how these next 11 laps or so play out.
This is really interesting because Barry Buraman now has to decide whether he goes into the pits this lap and not lose much time to Jana Watmer, because obviously his tyres are starting to go off, or he goes longer and later on in the race the soft tyres that Otmir and the rest will have on may play into the hands of Barry Buraman when he has a fresher set of mediums by the time their soft tyres start to go off. So it's all about strategy. This is what I love about Formula 1 esports.
And speaking of strategy, let's talk about this. Kiefer is the lead car in this train now from Rasmussen. Denoso, Blakely's down to P5 in this technical train. Sebastian Job has undercut him, and they look like they were about to attack each other, as is Barry Buraman and Jana Watmer. So I wonder how this is all going to shake out. Does Barry come into the pits? Nope, he carries on, as does Jarno. They're just going to trade this first position at the moment, as Barry, with the use of DRS, is going to go up the inside and retake the lead of this Italian Grand Prix. And these two are almost working together at the moment, Nick, to try and minimise the pain later on and pin a bit later.
Definitely, and I think this is proving to me that when Barry Buraman goes onto the medium tyre, he still will be very, very competitive in comparison to Jarno, because Jarno's managing to hold on with those medium tyres, and especially through the first corner and through these high speed corners of the Lesmos 1 and 2, the tyres still seem to be managing very well on the mediums, so I think Barry Buraman's in a really good spot so far.
Yeah, I'm just processing what Rasmussen's managed to do from, I think it was P7 on the grid. He has managed to get in what is a technical P2 at the moment. He's had 2 extra laps on those soft tyres, but my God, has he made them work. And both the Red Bulls are very much in contention now. Here is Fabrizio Denoso. He has 2 lap fresher tyres, I believe, than Rasmussen ahead. He started 3rd, now he's running in 6th at the moment, but of course we have got Barry and Jarno to come into the pits, as well as Philip Prejneda. Let's hear some team radio.
Barry's going to attack me again, but I'm fine with that. Can just switch around.
So there you go, that was basically what was said. They work together. Barry Buraman into the pits now, halfway through the race. And he's going to put on a set of medium tyres. Where is this going to put him out in the field? We will find out very shortly. Marcel Kiefer is currently the lead car on the track. And you can see right at the bottom there, Brendan Lee, 20th at the moment after receiving a nudge, I'm hearing in my ear. Barry Buraman coming out the pits now. Where is he going to feed out? He's not going to feed out anywhere in contention. And he's going to come out behind Simon Weigang in P11. So that soft tyre stint has not really worked out at all. I know he's got fresh set of mediums, but some of the cars ahead have got 1-2 lap old soft tyres. This may not have worked for him.
Wow, how surprising. I'm super surprised on that, to be fair. And that basically puts Beaumont near enough out of contention if he doesn't get a move on. His first couple of laps is going to be super, super important. You got Denoso there, which will help him with a bit of a penalty, and also Nicolas Longuet, who are not necessarily having the cleanest of races with what they're used to. As we're currently viewing Otmir, what is he going to do coming through the last corner? Is he going to pit this lap?
He's going to have to, surely. He's got no DRS, no slipstream to help him round on those ailing mediums. And I wonder, I think he's going to come out well. I mean, Barry was pretty much in the same part of the track as he was. So Jano's got a lot of work to do, but we have seen alternate strategy after alternate strategy from Jana Watmer. He never goes with what everybody decides to go with their pit strategy. And we will have to see an overtaking masterclass from the current championship leader if he wants to score any sort of good points. You can see him tumbling down the order now. Make that P9, maybe P10 as Simon Weigand with the use of DRS, yeah. And there's Barry Beaumont. He comes out ahead of Barry, which is maybe slightly surprising, but crucial for Jano. He can now attack the more worn soft runners ahead of him.
Now, so this is what I was saying earlier. Is the medium tyre strong enough in this period of the race to make inroads on the softer runners who are basically running out of their soft tyre as such? So is there a big enough drop-off for the guys that have already run in the softs for Otmir and Beaumont to make inroads?
This is the long game. I think this will change. The whole complexion of this race can change with the likes of Freddie Rasmussen already on 5-lap-old soft. Same for David Tanitsa. So they might be in 2nd and 8th now, but you have to think that they may well tumble down the order as we get to the final few laps of the race. Fabrizio Denoso trying ever so hard to keep Lucas Blakeley behind, but maybe having a look at Freddie Rasmussen. Nope, decides against it into the curve at Alboreto, once known as Parabolica. Lucas Blakeley so close in the diffuser of that Alpine. Will he try it down towards turn 1? Freddie Rasmussen needs to be dispatched, really, if you're the Alpine or Aston Martin driver, and this could be very interesting indeed. 3 wide, down towards turn 1. Is Denoso going to outbreak the pair of them? No, he does not. And Kiefer and Rasmussen are getting a little bit tripping, well, they're tripping each other up a little bit here, and all of a sudden we have got a massive fight between the top 5. And Lucas Blakeley in the slipstream of Fabrizio Denoso. I mean, they're all attacking each other at the moment as they head down towards the 2nd chicane. Who's going to come out on top in this fight? It looks like it's Marcel Kiefer. Yes, it is. Freddie Rasmussen P2. And after all of that, from the 1st chicane to the 2nd chicane, no position changes.
Wow, that was tricky for the Red Bull drivers. They wanted to make sure they didn't allow each other and potentially put each other out of the race, or worse, with damage. But very, very crucial times for the team, and they did a good job making sure that they were clear. Now riding on board with Nicolas Longuet going into Scari, and unfortunately for him, he does have a 5-second time penalty.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Is Denoso and Longuet both carrying penalties, which is probably worth mentioning, for speeding in the pit lane, which is such an irritating error for someone like Denoso, who's been running so strong, had a great qualifying, but a 5-second penalty is going to drop him all the way out the points. So really, he needs to get in the lead of this race and try and somehow extend a 5-second gap. Here comes Freddie Rasmussen to the inside of Marcel Kiefer. Are Red Bull going to play the team game? No, they want Marcel to lead, but Denoso wants to get involved here. Into turn 1, ever so close, but still runs in P3. Lucas Blakeley, if he wants to win this race, has to dispatch of Denoso, who is a bit of a moving chicane at the moment because he's not worth any points with that 5-second penalty.
Now, we've seen the Red Bull teammates be so strong last year, especially in Austria, where they're working together, weren't they, to get this 1-2, and they find themselves in the exact same position, working together, making sure that they recharge that battery and protect each other. So you got Denoso, who is, I would say, got quite a bit of pace. Yes, he is carrying that
this might be
penalty.
The moment, Nick. This might be the moment for Lucas Blakeley. Going to go round the outside. He's being squeezed absolutely a car's width into Ascari, but Denoso says no, thank you, and sticks it up the inside to maintain P3. But Blakeley might get a better run here. But whoever gets the use of slipstream, yeah, you can see there Blakeley deciding against it, although still using his battery power. He's only got 20% left on the ERS, so he's going to have to go in energy recharge mode at some point. but Denoso, going from the defensive, now may even look to try and get past Freddie Rasmussen. Look at this, they are so close, going down the pit straight for the 14th time.
Surely Blakely's going to be on the inside here, going to try and get on the brakes, but no, thinks twice, has to be careful because Rasmussen was there, and is now fighting to live another day, as we are now going down the little right-hander going into the chicane, and it looks like Blakely's dropped a little bit behind Denoso, Team Radio.
I don't know if Denoso wants to crash or not, but he's really going the right way about it.
I'm not having that. Denoso was protecting his position, and I think that was fair racing. I think he was squeezing him to the absolute extremities of the rules, but he didn't push him off the track, and Denoso fighting very hard to keep P3 at the moment. Another person, another driver to keep an eye on is Jana Watmer. He is making some serious inroads into this train, and he's up to P6. He's managed to get past his teammate, which I imagine was not a particularly difficult move for the reigning champion. But P6, can he get into the top 5? Well, he's going to have a free position from Longuet and a free position from Denoso when all is said and done. Longuet in the background trying to have a little look at Lucas Blakely into the final corner, but Freddie Rasmussen is just being this stopgap at the moment. He's protecting Marcel Kiefer for every single bit he's worth. But 9 laps on those soft tyres now for Freddie Rasmussen. He's surely going to be struggling. Denoso, they're all fighting ahead. Longuet dips a wheel into the grass. They're going to fight once again down towards turn 1. Is Longuet going to go round the outside, then the inside against Lucas Blakely? He is indeed. And the pair of Alpines that both are running penalties are fighting tooth and nail. And all of a sudden, Jana Watmer up to P5. Is he going to get up the inside of Longuet into the next chicane? He's thinking about it, but maybe not this time. Has a little look. But this time, Jana Watmer still, though, makes a position up on his championship rival, Lucas Blakely.
So, Watmer on a charge and behind Longuet and Denoso, who are carrying that 5-second penalty. So really, Watmer is in a net P3. So does he take a risk with Longuet? We're now trying to go down the outside. Have we got the traction? It looks like Watmer down the outside. Is he going to be there?
That?
No.
Denoso moved off the racing line to give Longuet a bit more of slipstream, because Longuet was off the racing line there. So great little bit of teamwork between Denoso and Longuet. They are fighting so hard for two drivers that have penalties. Maybe they're hoping to appeal it or something, I'm not sure. But they are fighting very hard for P3 and P4 at the moment. Oh, a bit of contact, and that may well, I think his front might be okay, but Watmer just wants to get on with it. He's now flying down the straight side by side with Nicolas Longuet, but again, Denoso given the slipstream. But no, Jana has more straight line speed even without the slipstream. Up to P4 goes Jana Watmer, and that is a solid move. They're so close going through the first chicane. Oh, there's a wheel banging as well. Who is going to come out on top? They're still side by side, Nick.
This is the crazy thing. Does Watmer take the risk and fight Longuet?
Oh, enter Danny Moreno! Enter Danny Moreno into this fight, and they're going to go 3 wide into the second chicane. It's Jana Watmer, and then it's Danny Moreno, and Nicolas Longuet's lost out. Whoa. There's contact again. Nicolas Longuet comes out worse in that particular incident, down to P8 for the Alpine driver, and the two Mercedes almost bullied him off the road.
Wow. So Marcel Kiefer, whilst that's going along, is 6/10 up the road, and so far Rasmussen's done a fantastic job in making sure that he protects his teammate. Fabrizio Denoso having a little bit of a look as we head into Ascari one more time. And looking like he's very, very strong pace-wise. But yes, he's definitely carrying that penalty. What does he do? Another team radio.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, it's making it easy for Jana.
Do not discount Jana Watmer. He pitted late for soft tyres. He is going to have the best tyre performance of anybody in the top 10. And you can see the difference between Rasmussen and Denoso, not a huge amount. Rasmussen's right rear is quite degraded, but he is very far into his stint. This would be an unbelievable performance from Red Bull if they managed to keep a 1-2 with Freddie Rasmussen's ridiculously aggressive undercut. Those soft tyres are going to be screaming to come off by the end of this 19-lap race. But Jana Watmer, he is trying to get past, first of all, Denoso to then join this fight, but what a result if Red Bull pick this up, and they will certainly mount a championship charge once again. You can never write them off. There is Freddie Rasmussen. As always, no real expression, just wants to win. And Denoso closing. You can see coming into Ascari, Denoso just having a little look to the inside, almost touching the rear diffuser. But surely there's going to be some moves made in the next couple of laps to try and mount a charge against Marcel Kiefer, and this may well be the beginning. Let's cut to Denoso. Will he look to the inside finally to try and go? Nope, he decides absolutely not. He's going to think about a run down towards turn 1.
Denoso is actually the perfect stopgap for Jana Watmer and Red Bull, because Watmer is going to have to really work hard to get past Denoso. Denoso's looking super racy. Who are we going to be slipstreaming? We've got left or right. We've got so much choice. And Watmer thinking twice about it on the inside of Denoso.
Oh, Watmer's going to try and do the pair of them here with his fresher tyres. Can he go round the outside? It'll be the inside line when he finally gets to the second chicane, Jana Watmer. Oh, he's not got the slipstream though. This is going to be so close. Look how close they are to win back.
Has to be now for Watmer on the brakes for sure.
Oh, will he get Rasmussen as well? That's going to be so tight. But Jana up to P3. The Mercedes driver still trying to win this race.
Now the worst nightmare for the Red Bull team, because Watmer is there. He's now dispatched.
Oh, he's practically pushing him now.
Denoso, and really has to make inroads into Kiefer's lead, who is now up to 0.8 of a second. But we're going down the outside of Rasmussen. Are we close enough? No, we're not. We think twice about it. Oh, nearly.
Oh, look in the background, Danny Moreno and Denoso going side by side into this Ascari chicane as well.
This is it. This is the better exit that Watmer's got. And now up to P2. It's definitely got to be P2 for Watmer.
Well, it might not be actually. Marcel was giving the slipstream to Freddie Rasmussen. They're going to go side by side into curve Alboreto, but it looks like Jana Watmer is going to get the position. Now who have the use of DRS, can he catch Marcel Kiefer on the final lap? Freddie Rasmussen has to do the team game here. He has to try and hold up as much as he possibly can. Jana Watmer, oh look at that! Danny Moreno up the inside, up to P2. That is unbelievable from the Mercedes driver. Oh, they almost come together, the two silver arrows. Freddie round! There's been contact, David Tenitzer, I think, making contact with the Red Bull. Freddie Rasmussen, this whole race has gone up in smoke.
Wow, I was not expecting that. It was absolutely incredible stuff. What a move, opportunistic move from Danny Moreno. Basically slipstreaming two people and ended up in P2. And Jana Watmer didn't think he would have to settle for third, playing the team game. And what a shame for Freddie Rasmussen, now down in P9.
Oh my goodness me, Jana Watmer, look how hard he's pushing as well. His soft tyres are starting to scream for help. But wow, how that has changed the complexity of the championship. It was looking like a 1-2 for Red Bull. Instead, it's a 1-9 with Danny Moreno coming out of nowhere. I can't believe it. Let's hear some team radio before the end of the race.
Let's go!
Good move, mate.
They're celebrating. Marcel Kiefer goes defensive into the final corner, but it's going to be enough for the Red Bull driver. Marcel Kiefer has dominated from the front, and it is a brilliant drive from the Red Bull driver. He comes over the line to win the Italian Grand Prix from Danny Moreno, and Jana Watmer take about every single one of those drivers. That was fantastic entertainment, Nick.
Oh, what a fantastic end to the race. There's a massive crash in the background that I was looking at there. But unbelievable from both Mercedes and Red Bull working as a team. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. And yeah, it's a shame Freddie Rasmussen got turned, but as a team they worked very, very well. Danny Moreno there up in P2, and Watmer settling for P3.
That was unbelievable stuff. Freddie Rasmussen just unfortunately for him getting made contact there. I'm sure we will analyse it later on in the show. There is Marcel Kiefer. What did you make of his performance today, Nick?
I think he did very well. He soaked up all of the pressure. As I said, he worked with his teammate. I think Freddie Rasmussen was the guy. He was the main guy to really protect him in this situation, and protect him exactly what he did. But Kiefer had to keep his head, which he did as well. So fantastic job from Kiefer. And yeah, Red Bull as a team, I think they'll be very proud.
Wow, what a race. I am almost breathless, Mr. Nick Hamilton. That was a crazy, crazy event. My Aramco driver of the day goes to Marcel Kiefer to win the Italian Grand Prix in such a fashion and almost get a 1-2. Certainly deserves that accomplishment. I now need to go and have a lie down, Mr. Tom Deacon. I am finished.
What an epic race. Let's take a moment to catch our breaths for a second. I will announce now that the DHL fastest lap time goes to Jana Watmer. Congratulations to him. However, a huge congratulations to Mr. Marcel Kiefer of Red Bull, his first win of 2021 around Monza. Marcel, how are you feeling after that?
I'm feeling pretty mixed in terms of feelings because, of course, I'm happy. It's my first win of the season. And it was a great drive. I did push as much as I could. I think it was the perfect strategy, but it was only a perfect strategy in terms of like the team, because Fred and I tried to replicate what we did last year in Austria, but it was 10 times harder because Monza is literally just a straight with chicanes, whilst Austria actually has a bit of dirty air in the middle sector, especially in the last sector. So it's a bit easier to pull a gap and pull it off. So what Fred and I did there with like me using my ERS, Fred trying to build a gap behind and keep the others behind was awesome. And then Freddie got taken out in the end. So I'm actually not too happy right now. The first thing that came into my mind is Freddie got taken out. So yeah, it's kind of a frustrating one.
Yeah, it sounds like it's very bittersweet. I mean, obviously for you, fantastic, getting back to that form of 2020, which we saw in the Pro Championship, but it's all about the team, which people watching at home will think, what? There's a Drivers' Championship. But no, it's for you and Freddie, team comes first, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was the same thing last year. It was the same thing before I joined the team in 2020. Like in 2019, they already won. And we have the same approach for this year because you want to stay on top of the game and win again. So yeah, make it 3 in a row.
Yeah, 3 in a row. That could happen at Spa tomorrow. However, Freddie got the win in Silverstone. You got the win. It's back-to-back wins. Surely that is not a silver lining, but that's going in the right direction, Marcel.
Of course, it's always good to see, especially with the white Red Bull. I have a huge crush on it. I already showed that on social media, and the team made sure that we can drive with it this time. So far we had a bit of good luck with it. Nearly a 1-2, which after a collision where Freddie got spun didn't happen and his race got ruined. But let's see, maybe in Spa we can get it.
Yeah, maybe you can. Well, best of luck, and hopefully you'll get the white Red Bull again. Thank you very much, Marcel. Congratulations. Marcel Kiefer winning at Monza there. Always a pleasure to chat to Marcel. Here's the thing, with Marcel, James, we saw it there. You've just won, but he's already thinking about his teammate. I quite like that. That's implausible. Like, it's just great to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. The more important thing is that the team championship is where the money's won, and they want to get the top prize, get the biggest chunk of prize money for Red Bull. So yes, it's obviously he will be happy. Yeah. But he's got to show maybe in a way he's not happy. Still a great result for Marcel.
Smart thinking. OK, James, let's talk about that incident. It was the first thing that we were talking about when it happened. You got that Tanitsa Freddie Rasmussen incident. And what did you see here?
Well, I think Tanitsa misjudged the braking. They went into the second part of the first chicane, basically 3 wide. It was Tanitsa's fault. I think I've seen Tanitsa on Discord apologising for that. So, you know, it's definitely his fault. But an uncharacteristic mistake for David. He's a very clean driver, gives lots of space 9 times out of 10. Just misjudged it this time in the heat of the moment on the final lap. So.
OK, well, I mean, these things happen, but a bitter blow for Freddie Rasmussen, as we're seeing now. That collision there, it doesn't take much, but look at the train. They were all competing. We love to see it. Compared to Silverstone, when there was a bit of a train, they went for it, didn't they?
It was like a Formula Ford race, you know, just slipstreaming everywhere, moves every lap. The thing is, you got to send it, but at the same time, you've got to be fair, and it's a very fine line, you know, like in quali, trying to not oversend it. So naturally, there's going to be a few people that make mistakes, and it doesn't mean they're a dirty driver, it just means they messed up. You know,
OK, well, there you go. Listen, James, fabulous insight into everything. Well, let's confirm it, getting the insight from the stewards and what it means, as you will see there with Tanitsa Rasmussen. Tanitsa gets a 10-second penalty, so he drops out of the top 10. And also, Moreno exceeding track limits to gain an advantage. He also gets a penalty as well. Barry Borman finishes in 6th after starting in 7th. We discussed it actually off air just a moment ago, starting with a soft strategy. Not so impressed with that, James, but hey, listen, I'm afraid to say, James, there's just not enough time to go into it. Let's look at the team championship after we look at the Drivers' Championship, because Jana Watmer is sitting at the top with a 4-point difference over Lucas Blakely. We said at the start of the show, can Lucas hold on to it? well, he is not far off. Team Championship then, Mercedes at the top with 122 points. And as you can see, 18 points behind from the guys. You've got Red Bull Racing Esports. There you go, 19 points actually. But anyway, listen, here we go. James Baldwin will have to say, wait there 1 second before I can thank you. That is it from us this evening. Just time to tell you, the qualifying for the 2022 Pro Series is now open. Nearly 500,000 of you entered last year to take part this season. Head to the F1 Esports tab on your F1 2021 game. You have until the 31st of October to register your effort, and the best drivers will be selected to progress to the F1 Esports Challenger Series. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow for the 6th race of the season at Spa-Francorchamps. You can join Matt and Nick at 3:30 p.m. for the live qualifying. And tomorrow we're back at 7:30 p.m. It just leaves me time to say thank you very much to James Baldwin, thank you very much to Matt, thank you to Nick, thank you to watching. See you tomorrow.
The British Grand Prix is underway. Rasmussen leading from the front.
Danny Moreno all the way around the outside into Stowe. What a fantastic move.
Rasmussen to the outside and will take his first victory of the season. Here we go then. Racing in Monza. Oh, look at that! Danny Moreno on the inside up to P2. That is unbelievable from the Mercedes driver. Marcel Kiefer has dominated from the front. He comes over the line to win the Italian Grand Prix.